This episode of Total Drama Reviews contains clips from Total Drama World Tour. I do not own Total Drama World Tour. All rights go to FreshTV. Remember to be civil and do not be me in the comments. Seriously, it can get really messed up. Carpe diem, my name is Ultranatic, and 4 years ago, I began a journey around the world. Quite literally, I actually began filming this in another country entirely, and then traveled back to the States to finish it, and it still took me the same length of time to reach the end of said journey as it takes some to get a college degree. It's been long, but it's finally coming to a close. Let's finish off the final leg of this world tour for my beloved Total Drama Reviews. This is where I, as a lover of animation, reality shows, and music, for the last time, sadly. Oh, musical episodes exist in this venture camp? Okay, now I definitely need to add that to my docket. But yeah, music, look over the show that combined them together the best. And aloha, everyone.
Not aloha hello, aloha goodbye.
Yeah, it's time for a fun farewell of the season, but still a welcome greeting to the review of the season finale of World Tour, Hawaiian Punch. Alternately titled Aloha Finale. Yeah, y'all were better off with the first title. We get a showdown that is absolutely worth all the hype we've gotten. About between Heather and whichever the two boys earns the right to compete against her. We get an ambitious episode that does make nearly every flaw in the season feel all the worth it in the end. Again, not a perfect one, but oh so entertaining. It has fighting, struggling, suspense, payoff, romance, hilarity, and all the best stuff you need for a final episode. But the question then becomes, can it counteract any problems the episode lays out as well? Will it melt my heart in spite of said problems? Or will they melt the quality like the victims of Pompeii? Well, let's find out. Get your Hawaiian shirt, because we are here to celebrate. This is Hawaiian Punch. We open with the final three all on the Hawaiian beach, and Alejandro and Cody venting in confessional after the fact.
I can't believe how close I am to the million. There's just one massive thing in my way. Alejandro. Never thought I'd say this, but I wish Sierra was back in here with me.
Okay, at this point in the season, I'd actually retire the creeper meter. It'll make a comeback in All-Stars, don't you worry. Wait, I take that back. Do worry. But even if Sierra's fine now, I think that for all the flack Belle got in Beauty and the Beast for having Stockholm Syndrome, Cody suffers from that way more than she did. I know there's a few nice things she did for him, but how does he have any sympathy towards her after all the bad things she did to him? And same question for Bridget with Mildred. These aren't just slap on the wrist offenses. These are crimes that get you shipped off to Alcatraz. Let's not romanticize any of this.
How will I explain to those at home that I tied with that pathetic Cody? My brother Jose will be compiling his insults already.
You never mentioned you had a brother. Jose, was it?
He is not worth mentioning.
Wait a minute, they actually aired those confessionals? What happened to them being private and all? Whatever, it's not that big a deal. It's not like anyone revealed crucial information except that Alejandro has a brother. And despite we get payoff for that here, we do explore that payoff further down the road, so...
Go Team Alejandro! Why are they in teams? And why does my team suck?
The peanut gallery's playing a major role in choosing a winner.
I guess we're all voting on the winner again.
Did I say my team sucks? What I actually meant was they rock.
Nah, you were right the first time, Heather. Mildred sucks.
You think we're fools? You and Alejandro are done.
Okay, LaShawn seems to have the exact opposite problem of Cody. Whereas he is too forgiving of Sierra, LaShawna is too unforgiving of Heather, despite, let me just check the tapes.
Watch out for Alejandro. He is not who he seems.
I'm not going anywhere.
That's it. Seize the day.
Ow! I'm gonna seize the you! You've had this coming for 3 seasons!
Oh, yeah!
You! No!
Yep, Yep, Heather was right. You owe her an apology for beating her up, not scolding. And fine, she did slap you in that challenge too, but the challenge required that, and you kept doing it to her after you were both eliminated. This is like if every time Lucy Van Pelt pulled the football before Charlie Brown kicked it, you blame Charlie Brown. No, sorry, maybe Lucy's just an asshole.
We gotta break a tie. Each ball inside our challenge booth has a different tiebreaker written on it. So, take your pick.
Ow! Are these golf balls? Ow! I swear, Jeff and I put ping pong balls in there.
I know, and I'm not mad. Just disappointed.
Okay, one surprising strength in the episode is that Chris, while not any less sadistic than usual, is really freaking hilarious in spite of that.
I just won the semifinal. Where is the respect?
We'll be sure to look for that later. Back in the day, human sacrifices were tossed in to kill away a volcano to appease the gods. Sadly, the lawyers won't let me use real people as sacrifices.
What, are we gonna pretend that wasn't funny?
Anyway, the golf ball she picks is a traditional Hawaiian fire dance of death, where the boys have to battle each other on a platform in the water to free Heather from some ropes she's bound to.
I question how traditional it is for a male warrior to wear a coconut bra.
Hey, don't diss my man Sterling like that.
They look nice to me. They feel nice, making me miss my fiance.
The first dude to free Heather wins the last spot in the final two.
If no one happens to free her, does that make Cody and I the final two?
Hey!
Won't work. I already checked.
I love that Alejandro keeps looking for loopholes in challenges. It's like cheating without actually cheating, which he has done a few times on this show. I'm cool with villainy, but sabotaging the game does deserve to be called out. But if attempted sabotages are thwarted because production saw through it, then cool. That makes it funny.
The Kiwis! Go for the Kiwis!
Go, Alejandro! Where's my encouragement? Hello, Team Heather! Oh!
Okay, Harpion LaShaw's grudge aside, that was just a fantastic cutaway, especially considering what are they supposed to be cheering you for in this challenge? Yeah, you keep being tied to that pole like Jack Sparrow, except vertically this time. I know she has an ego, but that was just a miscalculated plea for support.
Oh no! Sierra just rolled into quicksand!
What? Sierra? Someone help her!
Christ, he doesn't just have Stockholm Syndrome, he has Copenhagen, Oslo, and Helsinki Syndrome. It's a Scandinavian smorgasbord of identifying with your captor.
But yeah, Heather does the first unquestionably villainous thing for her since switching the baby carriage in New York. Again, yikes, as she forces Cody to lose and get eaten by a shark. My leg! Only for Sierra to wheel herself into the ocean to save him. Yeah, a point to Sierra for that legitimately heroic moment for her there.
Shoving Mr. Popular into shark-infested waters for no reason? You just handed me the million. I can't wait for the vote.
Okay, I'm not against the move Heather made there. Given the speculation of a vote being what decides the game, that was pretty smart actually. But it doesn't make her look all that heroic either. She's the one who faked the distress call on Sierra's behalf. Alejandro just did what he had to. We sure this wouldn't actually be what causes Heather to lose in the event of a vote?
Now that we have our final two, it's my pleasure to announce the Peanut Gallery will not be voting for the winner.
Do I count the one dude in the suit there drowning on the counter? Nah, we never see if he resurfaces or even who's in it. I'll skip it. Not gonna bring our counter down by much given the final act.
Prepare to have your minds blown out by the most lethal challenge in total drama history. Heather versus Alejandro versus the volcano!
Did that volcano just burp?
The volcano!
Oh my god, it did. Way to make one of the deadliest landscapes on the planet suddenly sound really silly. Imagine if Sauron did that in Lord of the Rings. Man, And rest assured, that'll be the only Lord of the Rings reference you see in this review.
Yeah, right.
Shut up, that's the joke.
Heather and Alejandro will have to make sacrifice stand-ins, and to make it nice and symbolic, you guys have to make dummies of each other to dump in the volcano. You each get to pick 2 helpers.
So for the helper stage, Alejandro picks Courtney and Tyler.
Wakey, wakey, Tyler.
I suppose I could choose someone else.
Aw, thanks. I'd love to.
Okay, that works too. And for Heather's side,
Alejandro is going down! Nobody makes shark bait out of me and gets away with it. Anyway, Heather was pretty good to me overall.
I guess by comparison to Alejandro, you could argue that, but sorry, we watched the same scene, right?
Oh no! Sierra just rolled into quicksand!
What? Sierra? Someone help her! No!
Yeah, Alejandro landed you in the water, but the only reason you lost focus was because of Heather. And okay, even if you take that out of consideration, what all did Alejandro do bad to you this season? Didn't he protect you from Sierra and Rapafui, provide you a stash of delectable goodies, and not blow up at you when you threw him under the bus? Or rather, Boulder? I'm not saying what Heather did was worse. Hell, she advocated for shielding you from Sierra too, whereas Alejandro once enabled her.
She wants to throw a reception for us when we get home. They say it's always best for a husband to indulge his wife.
You know what? Why am I sticking up for either of them? How about Cody just not volunteer for this one? But he does, with Harold following suit, and as the challenge commences...
To make things a little more rhymey, my ladies, please head straight.
Yep, we get the final song number of the season, titled Verses. Sure, I'm fine with that one. And whenever I caught villain song list before this one got mentioned more than I'm gonna make it as far as I recall, which I considered a snub on the latter. Incidentally, I can't find most of these lists anymore, and the ones I can find, great, this is how we will end it as being the best total drama villain song overall. I swear, I did not know how beloved that song was before I reviewed it, but honestly, upon revisiting Verses, yeah, this one holds up pretty well.
And you can't take it.
First off, the visuals are amongst the best in the season, using the inverted clashing colors mixed with the Hawaiian aesthetic, and the portrayal of Heather being towering dueling deities is such an extraordinary vision that I don't even care what is happening in show to craft this imagery. Let's just go with music video logic.
I'm so ready. It's ill. Worth 1/5 of the mill.
I'll pay you back somehow. Pineapple, help me now.
Though I am curious why they're portraying putting the statues together as some Herculean feat. I mean, I'm sure it's not easy, but it's not objects bigger than the pyramid you previously passed levels of challenging either.
Search through that wood, too sweet.
That's just nitpicking though. I do love most of the rest of this. Even the parts I figured I wouldn't, like Alejandro slathering on more attitude than Kesha did when she worked with her own abuser, Dr. Luke. Fuck Dr. Luke. I will say that without reason. He is a skip mark on humanity. But yeah, the attitude isn't all that bad here.
Got it now, hurry back, I need arms.
At worst, it's a little distracting, but I can get past it enough.
Is this thigh fat enough? Hey.
Gosh, is this neck thick enough?
And speaking of distracting, does anyone else think this song sounds kinda similar to another villain song that got popular around that same time?
Come on guys, move it fast. Quick, quick, I won't be last. Rap logs, the matches, frame all over, built and laid.
Iced tea imported from England. Lifeguards imported from Spain.
I'm gonna win, yeah, and you can't take it. No, I'm right here in it, but you just fake it.
Fetch me my Jimmy Choo flip-flops. Where is my pink Prada tote?
Get me 2 knobby knees and arms like logs of cheese. Bring me a big fat head, move quicker.
Fabulous pool, fabulous splash.
Read my lips.
Fabulous parties, even fabulous trash.
I mean, I certainly hear the similarities, and while I grew up with High School Musical, I'll admit sharp-paced songs were never my favorite, so I'm impressed that any interpolation, intentional or otherwise, kinda won me over here. It probably helps that whenever Heather sings, there's a switch up in the beat to make her side sound more intense, which I can absolutely buy.
Weak and slack, her butt is scrawny and flat, and she ain't all that.
And of course, the content is good too. I guess Alejandro's delivery could use work, but small pass cause amateur still, and yeah, despite it having a karaoke-esque cadence, it's still fun to see him badmouth Heather like this in complete denial of his feelings for her. And with Heather doing the same, except with a stronger melody that keeps the song afloat. Even from, you know, this.
Bam! Now it's evil versus wicked. Heather's cool, but Al is sick. All this aggro for the cheddar she'll put out here through the shredder.
Actually, I'm not gonna crap on this. The rap verse works too. Part of it is definitely the length, one bar alone, so it doesn't overstay its welcome. But also, come on, rhyming cheddar with shredder is much better rhyming wordplay than I ever expected from Harold. And it carries this song to actually end the Total Drama World Tour playlist on a positive note.
You should trash it.
Yeah, 'cause I just did it. Next step, haul your sacrifice to the top of Kilauea and toss her into the volcano, like so.
Yes, that guy gets wheeled away after, but I'm sorry, it's lava. Getting splashed by it is not the same as stepping into a shower at the hottest setting, it's lava. If molten steel killed a T-1000, then lava will kill any ordinary human being.
To help you get those dummies to the top of the volcano, you can use the rewards your team's earned on your behalf in the Aftermath Lava Surfing Challenge. Alejandro, for winning the effigy challenge, you get a 20-second head start. So, get going.
Now wait, if Cody can't use his prize, then why can't Heather just use it?
Cody's my helper. I should get his prize too.
Sure, why not? Oh yeah, that's why not.
Again, Chris does get a laugh out of me while only being moderately torturous here, which, given what he turns into in the next couple seasons, count your blessings for what he is right now.
I can taste the million. It tastes like mint dipped in pure gold. What on earth?
Wait a minute, Heather has so much endurance she copped to Alejandro while lugging that dummy on her back next to a hot-ass volcano in high heel wedges?
I don't run. And I definitely don't run in high heel wedges. If you think I'm gonna give up when I'm this close.
Yeah, between this scene, her running in China, and the long walk she had to the train while still being ahead of Alejandro in the last episode, why did she ever complain about that? It looks like she could handle them fine.
I'll be the one with the check for $1 million.
But it turns out those advantages now become useless. I kinda love how that happens, though it basically makes the final aftermath even more redundant. As Chris reveals the next obstacle, tell me again how he got up there so fast. Twilight Sparkle did less teleporting in My Little Pony Season 1 than Chris does in this season.
Your helpers can either keep them secured or send them falling.
Okay, it was probably his helicopter off screen since all the helpers are there too. To chop ropes hanging heavy objects to crush our competitors and make their treks harder.
Chop away, ladies!
Let us through!
Never!
Look, there's a sale on mascara.
There's no mall. We're in the jungle.
Should Lindsay be that gullible? Isn't this like all-star premiere levels of stupid for her? Nah, it isn't. I can buy this one okay. I mean, that's easier to do when it's actually funny.
Victory is in the bag. Ow!
Whoops.
But the ropes were never labeled for which went to which object. A clever twist, though I don't know why a smart person like Courtney can't just check the ropes beforehand, but I guess when both sets of helpers are dueling, they'd be pressed for time anyway.
Quit now. Maybe I'll throw you some petty cash.
No way, Jose.
What? What did you just say?
But Alejandro reveals, completely unprompted, his absolute disdain for being called Al, something his brother always taunted him with, and something Owen did all season unmaliciously.
Jose always has to win. He lives to make me miserable. He punches me in the arm and calls me Al just because I hate it.
Al hates being called Al? Gosh, Al! Owen must have called Al like 1,000 times.
Shut it!
Also, why did he blow up just from the completely normal phrase, "No way, Jose"? Is that like a trigger for him, the same way the word bullshit was, and now you see me?
I'll deal with you when I'm done with this other bullshit.
During the show, half the audience was hypnotized to believe they were in the Philharmonic. I guess that bullshit was a trigger word.
It just feels too ordinary to instantly get worked up about, that's all I'm saying.
I truly hope you live to see me win. So long, señorita loser.
Are you just gonna let him win $1 million?
Hurry, there's no time to lose.
Okay, A, Harold's Kiwis getting hit to his falsetto is hysterical, and B, I do like that Cody motivates Heather to continue, harkening back to Sierra motivating him the episode prior.
Don't give up or the bad guy wins.
You mean I'm the good guy?
There's no one I'd rather be than me.
But a mere 2/3 of the way into the episode, we reach the top. Yeah, okay, the pacing of this is kind of fast. Alejandro.
Thanks for everything.
Okay, a volcano burping I can buy, but did Alejandro just slither his tongue like the devil? Kinda on the nose, isn't it? What is this, a cartoon? But Heather catches up and, okay, this finale's been overall splendid and this doesn't ruin it, but we then get the one objectively forced moment in the plot. Heather getting on her knees playing to Alejandro's emotions, and he falls for it.
I worked so hard, and now you're just gonna take the mill and vanish from my life forever.
What are you more upset about losing? The million or me? Our connection goes deeper than any game. Together, we could take over the world!
Like, okay, we technically saw that in Drumheller 2, but the dude is mere feet away from the volcano. Even by pure villain dragging out their victory cliche standards, this is still pretty trite. That being said, this moment kills me.
Admit it, you're in love with me.
What? I don't love you, I love...
Even when Noah is silent, he's still the best character in the season.
I suppose I might actually feel a little something.
Mi amor.
But mother of all twists, like Shyamalan would shit his pants at this revelation, this was a ruse by Heather to distract Alejandro.
A little something called victory! So long, sucker!
Wow, she just became an honorary member of the Black Widow Brigade, catching me off her guard so convincingly in just this episode alone, thus sending Alejandro down the hill and awarding her the chance to take the prize.
Yes, 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 yes!
And that's a cool million for Heather!
Take that!
Sweet!
I love how the suitcase just knocks into Chris's face and he doesn't even flinch. Is he a mannequin or something? How does this work?
Oh, you didn't throw any pineapples in the volcano, did you?
But it turns out there were signs all around the volcano saying to not throw pineapples in. Rather strange custom, but I'm a noob when it comes to Hawaiian mythology, as relayed by some locals who sound intriguingly familiar.
They really ruined the shot, so we put the human wall there.
My leg!
Don't you know what happens when pineapples meet lava?
There are signs everywhere!
Yeah, I can't possibly pick up on what used to be lead actor for the show could be voicing these Hawaiians. No idea at all. Yeah, we can all tell it's Christian. As was Duncan's voice actor, Drew Nelson, and I think Owen and Trent's voice actor, Scott McCord. On that one, I'm not positive, but officially, none of the VAs for the natives are credited, and I put genuine money on the first two at least. This isn't exactly like when the roles of Gimli and Treebeard both end up being John Rhys Davies, which a lot of people probably didn't catch at first. And speaking of Lord of the Rings, yeah, y'all knew this was coming. Ezekiel emerges after finding his way to the island, as shown from a post-credit scene before. It wasn't really needed. I think Captain Ahab would give up trying to catch Moby Dick before Ezekiel gave up trying to get this money, as he scuffles with Heather over the suitcase, leading to him in the suitcase drying in the lava as an obvious homage to Gollum.
My leg!
And then the volcano erupting.
Wait for me! Ow!
My leg!
See you next season, I guess. Maybe with a whole new cast.
And somehow Ezekiel still... Wait, let me turn that back on real fast. Somehow Ezekiel still f***ing survives. You know, that's also fitting for Lord of the Rings. The main characters were impossible to kill there too. Not sure why that clause would apply to Ezekiel, but who cares? It's hilarious to see him crash into Chris's boat as the cast flees from rocks falling, including Heather being struck by one.
Wait! Do I get my money or what?
I will never get tired of that music. Yeah, now we get to the alternate ending, the one that wasn't shown in America, of Alejandro winning the money by one change in the story, Heather dumping the dummy he brought to the volcano, which by technicality earns him the victory.
Hey, Alejandro! You might want to come back up here.
I won? I'm coming!
Okay, two things dawned on me here. One, how did Alejandro slide past the lava stream from before? Was there a second path we never saw? And two, I know it's a cartoon, but it's still fun to point out. How would Alejandro be able to hear that from so far away? This show constantly keeps making that mistake.
I am the one who made the pineapple sacrifice!
Oh, you didn't throw any pineapples in the volcano, did you?
But the rest of the ending is largely the same, except Ezekiel now fights with Chris for the money, only for the same outcome to happen, and as Alejandro races to the top...
Hey, where's my prize money? I demand to get what's coming to me.
One custard pie? Let me have it.
Okay, some cliches you just never get tired of. Also, to anyone wondering, no, the times Alejandro gets trampled won't go on the counter. Those I can see him surviving, just not the lava flood. But Heather being hit by the lava rock, that I most certainly will count. We don't see it make contact, but we didn't see Duncan get eaten by the lion, and I counted that too, because it clearly happened anyway, so why wouldn't this meet my requirements also?
Do I get my money or what?
My leg!
So that ends the season, except for one crucial post-episode clip which I have to go over because it does play a factor down the line. Because rather than take Alejandro to a hospital for his lava burns, Chris and Chef prepare to put him in the drama machine to heal, a treatment that no other contestant got before and I presume wouldn't help much anyway. Cause yeah, if there's one thing we can trust this team to be good at, it's medical practices. And as opposed to the Tolkien homages, we now make reference to the then most topical Star Wars film, Revenge of the Sith. I'll give credit to the animation. The 3D enhancements in it are pretty solid for television, especially given the time period. You'd think they'd be dated, but they mesh pretty well. No, you wanna know what doesn't mesh well instead?
$1 million, is it safe?
It seems that the $1 million fell into the volcano. It's gone. Spaz.
Yeah, that derogatory term is a bad look for the show. I don't know if it was derogatory at the time, but I personally don't care. It's not a word I used back then nor now. I'm more than okay with it not being in my vocabulary. And even taking that aside, whatever you think of the image of Darth Vader suddenly acting all emo at his precious Padme passing, at least James Earl Jones put everything into it. But this parody is is so half-assed and doesn't really play into anything. You know what would be cooler? Keep the scene as is, minus the slur, but keep it a mystery who's being sued over. Like, maybe we only see a silhouette that looks charred so you can't make out who it is. That way when the reveal comes later as to who's in it, it at least amount to something. As is, this only fractionally counts as the final clip of the season, but still a pretty sour note to go out on. Which is thankfully not true for the rest of Hawaiian Punch, because it's one of the best finales we ever got from this show. Again, had a hiccup once in a while, but mostly with the peanut gallery and the occasional irritating trope that we could have gone without. Otherwise, the only egregious part was the wannabe I'm putting together a team scene, but while that's definitely context people need to be aware of, it's connected to the episode in a less than official capacity, one could say. The episode detached from it was a blast. The saying of being next to an active volcano that was genuinely spraying chaos and destruction made it feel almost video game-esque, with some intriguing insight into certain characters and obviously some fantastic humor. And given the final two it came down to, Ella Heather, who were unquestionably the protagonists of the entire season, was so satisfying. Personally, I prefer the Heather win, but there is something badass about Alejandro playing as hard as he did on his first outing and actually succeeding. Either way, it's a tale of two players with very different games, one conquering from start to finish, the other having to overcome an early social detriment to then become a solid middle ground player amongst a sea of extreme personalities, and it makes for a season that, even with the plethora of issues I had throughout it, all the worth it in my eyes. I don't know yet if I call it the best episode, but it definitely did the most good for the season as a whole. And for being named after a popular fruit drink, it was absolutely refreshing and delivered quite a punch. And that is finally it. The season is over. Thank Christ. That took way too damn long. Now all that's left to finish it is my top 5 worst and best episodes list. But you know what? Y'all been especially patient with me after all this time, which I am very thankful for, so how about I give y'all a gift? What if I package that list as part of a 2-day premiere? Day 1 being my top 5 worst and best episodes, and day 2 being a ranking of every song from this glorious season.
She wrote that first day! My husband-to-be, his name is Cody. Songs we wanna do before we die. You're a pussy, gothy, nasty blister.
This is what I was made for.
You taste 7 kinds of fruit in Hawaiian Punch. 7 kinds of fruit in Hawaiian Punch. Hawaiian Punch is made with 7 kinds of fruit for a one-of-a-kind fruit taste.